Hi everyone, okay, and welcome to my channel, Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Here we're gonna continue on processing numbers, okay? In the previous video, I just introduced the concept of processing numbers and how to do it. But here we're gonna continue from it. So we're gonna take more complex numbers, a little bit more, but it's still the same principle, okay? So I have here y is equal to fx plus 3. So what do? So how will you solve it? So basically, this kind of questions and processing numbers, they follow the same BODMAS. If you remember what we said, BODMAS, please watch my next videos on this. I want to have videos on how to process number with BODMAS. So you have to do the brackets first, ordinals, division, you then multiply, you add and subtract, okay? So here now we have this. So we have the input going to be x, okay? So the first thing you then do is that you first multiply x by 5. So that means the function will be, you multiply by what? 5. Now, when you multiply by 5, the result you get from this function, which is called the f of 5, or and how you want to put it, then you will now what? Take it into another different function. So the answer you get here will become the input for the next function. So the function here is now going to be the answer you have from here. You get R3, then that will now give you the value for y, which is equal to 5x plus 3. Is that making sense? So let's say, for instance, x is equal to 2. Okay. So what do? The input here is what? 2. The first thing you then do with the 2 is that you multiply the 2 by what? 5. Now, when you multiply the 2 by 5, it's going to give you what? 10. Now, the 10 you have here is going to be the input for the next what? Function. So that means the 10 will be the input here. Now, it goes into the next function, and then you add what? 3 to it. And the answer you will get here is going to be what? 13. So that means the function, the output for this function at x is equal to 2 is what? 13. All right. Let me just pick one more example. Okay. In processing numbers, I don't want to beat it too much. It's something that you just have to practice and practice more questions, and you will be fine. All right. So let's try another one. So we have y is equal to 3x squared plus 2 divided by what? 4. The same thing. What do you do first? So when you have the function here, which is x, the first thing you have to do with a function is that you have to square the input. So we have to raise it to power what? 2. So that means that will give us x squared. Does that make sense? All right. Then when we go to the x squared, now the x squared we have will now become the input for the next function. So the x squared we have, what we do to it, we'll multiply it by what? 3. And that will now give us what? 3x squared. Can you see? Now, when you've done that, the next thing is that this 3x squared is going to be the input for the next function, which is that you need to add 2 to it. So the function here is going to be plus 2. So it's going to give you 3x squared plus what? 2. Is this making sense? Then the answer you get here is going to be the input for the next function, because we still have one part that is missing, that we'll have to divide it by 4. So that means what we have here, the function, we then have to divide it by what? 4. So it's going to give us 3x squared plus 2 divided by 4. And that will give us the answer for what? Y. Is it okay? So now let's say, to make this easy, let's say x is equal to 1. So the same thing, we're going to draw the same thing. We have the input to be 1, okay? So we have a function. We'll raise it to power 2. So 1 to power 2 is going to give us 1. Then that 1 as well is going to be the function for the next one. So we times it by, the answer we have here is a 1. It's going to be the input. So the function, you times it by what? 3. And that will give you 3. Does that make sense? Then that same function, the output of this function is going to be the input for the next. So you're going to have 3, and you have the function here. So it's going to be 3 plus 2, and that will give you what? 5. Okay. Then this is going to be the input for the next one. And the next one is that we're dividing it by what? 4. Is this making sense? And that will give you 5/4. So that means the output that we should be expecting for this, y should be 5/4. So as x is equal to 1, y is equal to 5/4. That is the answer for that. So like what I said, in the previous video, your calculator does this for you automatically. The essence why I'm starting from this is that usually I always assume no knowledge. So I start from the basis, build it up till I get to where I want to get to. Okay. So we're gonna move to the next one in the next video, and we're gonna see how to do more manipulation and processing numbers with functions. Okay. And please try to review the previous video and look at this and make sure you understand it completely. You can try solving some questions from the textbook, and if you have any question, please do let me know. All right. Okay, I think that will bring me to the end for this part of the video. I'm going to see you in the next video where we're going to talk about we'll talk about things about how do we manipulate and process numbers. We'll talk about the single values functions. I'm going to talk about the multi-values function. So it's important you understand how to process numbers. Okay, so because when we get to the single and the multi-values functions, we're going to play around with these a lot there. Okay. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Okay? All right.